I want to talk about my experience with online dating and hookup apps. I've been on Grindr and a number of different apps. I'm not strictly looking for casual connections. I actually prefer something ongoing. And the women are the worst of all. They are callous to any difficulties that you might have as far as travel. Any inconvenience that comes up, they're absolutely unforgiving. They don't care. All they care about is getting attention and getting their immediate need or want met, and they don't care about anything beyond themselves. That is what I've learned. Repeatedly over the last 8 years, I have encountered this situation. Very, very rarely do I ever meet any decent women on any dating application. Doesn't matter how I dress, doesn't matter what I list on the profile, doesn't matter about my appearance. Haircut or overgrown and unkempt, whatever. They don't care. They don't want any inconvenience whatsoever. If you tell them it's going to take me an hour and a half to get there, oh, all of a sudden you find yourself blocked. What is that? What is wrong with these women today in the United States? It's sick. No explanation whatsoever. No respect, no decency. I don't want women like that in my life. If you are the type of person to just ghost and disappear, you don't have any place dating or sleeping with anybody. You know, really, I mean, what kind of person does that? It's ridiculous. If somebody disrespects you real bad, yeah, I can understand that. If they say something terrible to you, if they're found to be severely mentally ill or on drugs or an alcoholic, some truly undesirable quality, I get that. But if it's just a question of not being able to get to your house fast enough because you live far away or you use slower transit, that is not a valid excuse to just block someone. Maybe the person is trying to get something more meaningful out of the situation, hoping that something that starts out as a casual meeting can turn into something more. And if you just gave it a chance, ladies, you would see the worth of some of the people that you talk to. I took really good care of my last wife. I was loyal, and I'd go out in the middle of the night to get her food, go to the pharmacy, get her medicine at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, take her to the emergency room. I did so much for my last spouse. And just to see the way that women today, American women, treat men is just appalling and disgusting. Like, really? Are you really that hollow? Are you that empty? You know? I'm not accusing anybody. I'm just going based off what I've seen. I'm not talking about once or twice, but dozens and dozens of times. Women want these casual encounters, and never once have I gotten together to just hook up and meet. I've always looked for a deeper thing, a friendship at least, or hopefully a relationship, something ongoing beyond just getting off and then leaving. Nobody really wants superficial unless that's, something that they're occupationally bound to. Like, hey, I'm going to have to move on to the next town tomorrow or next month or whatever when my 1099 contract ends. So they want something short term. I can understand that. But if it's just a question of they're wanting to sample different flavors of ice cream, they need to say that. I don't like to invest like that in something that's just going to be a one-off. That seems like to me it's a waste of time. I'm not a typical man. I think I break the mold. Most men just want to get laid or they want to get their rocks off. It's not the case with me. The way that y'all treat men, ladies, the way that you treat men on dating apps and on these apps where men are trying to make a connection, it's appalling. So I'm not surprised at all when I hear about women getting a relationship with a guy that they think is desirable just because of his body or because of how good he is in bed. And then they find out just how disappointing that person really is because they went into it starting out wrong in the first place. They didn't know the person, they didn't establish trust. He wasn't a guy that wanted to invest, he was a guy that wanted to use them the way that they wanted to use him, and then they got attached. And then they end up having a bad experience with a guy who wasn't really relationship material. When I married to keep my spouse forever or until death, and she died. Despite my best efforts, she died. I was a good person, and I'm an even better person now than I was then because I learned, how to be even better and take better care of the people that I loved. I was already doing great then, but she kept things from me, and I learned that one of the things that you have to look for is deception. And that's something I've encountered a lot from women because seldom do they know what they actually want. But ladies need to do better. Women need to do better. And there is a difference between ladies and women. I really hope that what I've said here on some small level maybe impacts some of the women that are out there. You need to learn more about people before getting involved with them. And don't cut somebody off just because they can't get over to your house fast enough. Maybe you have to work, working full time, 60 hours a week or more. I mean, come on, have some patience.